Hi, this is Daniel Hooper from 1% Property, coming to you with my weekly market update for Kedron, Gordon Park and the surrounding suburbs on Friday the 1st of July 2022. So over the last week, there were 1,269 sales across Queensland, which is pretty consistent with what we've been seeing over the last few weeks. That's down from about 1,500 to 1,600 during the peak of the market towards the end of last year. 58% auction clearance rate. Again, it was up around 80 to 90%. It's dropped down, so almost 1 in 2 properties are not selling at auction, which is pretty obviously evident of what's going on in the market. In the inner north, we had 26 sales, which is actually a pretty good number. Still a lot of properties changing hands. A couple of notable sales, so one good and one bad. 42 Jardine Street in Kedron, 6 beds, 787 square meters, city views. It sold for just under 2 million, 1.97, which is a pretty good price. And on the other side of the coin, 29 Richmond Street here in Gordon Park. It's a 2-bed on 607. It sold for actually under $1 million, which I don't know if there was something severely wrong with the property, but that seems like an extremely low price for a property on 607 square meters in a good street in a good part of Gordon Park. Would be very interested to find out why that property sold for such a low price. But it's certainly quite surprising. In the media, what's going on with our markets as a whole, it is clear and evident that we are over the peak. We are on the slow decline side of the market. Brisbane property prices, they're still up 0.2% for the month, but last week they dropped 0.2%. So that's going to continue, in my opinion. It is going to continue to drop. I think Brisbane is probably going to be one of the best performing markets over the next 12 to 24 months. But that's best performing on a downward slide, I would say, compared to potentially more drastic drops in Sydney and Melbourne. A few things that I would say remember as the market is declining. Firstly, is Australia is not a single market. So when you look at news articles on news.com or something like that, and they say the market's going to tank, it's going to drop by 30% or whatever it is, generally, these experts are referring to Sydney and Melbourne. There have been many, many times where articles have come out. Actually, this week I can think of one specifically where the biggest turnaround, the biggest drop after growth ever seen in Australia. Now that is just clearly not evident in Brisbane. Sydney and Melbourne are certainly. Sydney, I think, dropped 1.6% last month, so they have certainly seen a downturn, and it may be the biggest in 30 years. I'm not sure. But it is not reflective of Brisbane. So whenever you read those big articles on the national news sites like news.com.au, just keep in mind that they're probably referring to Sydney and Melbourne, and we are a totally different property market to Sydney and Melbourne. We have our own property cycles, and they're totally different to what's going on down there. So what is actually happening in the market? Firstly, properties are taking longer to sell. There is no doubt at all that properties are taking longer to sell. My average days on market last year was 7. Certainly we're taking usually a minimum of 2 to 3 weeks, sometimes 5, 6, 7, 8 weeks to actually find the right buyer to get to get a good price for the properties. What is happening, and the reason that's happening, is there's far less urgency with buyers, and buyers are more picky. So last year you'd put a property on the market, and what was happening, buyers were walking in and going, it's not perfect, but prices are going up by $30,000 or $40,000 a month. I'm panicking that I'm not going to get a property, so I will look past the things that I don't like, and I will purchase this house. And that was happening almost every time. So properties didn't have to be perfect for people to purchase them. Now, when things are slowing down, there's less urgency on prices rising. There's less competition between buyers. What we're finding is people are a lot more picky. Properties have to be perfect. They have to be exactly what they want, which means it takes longer to find that buyer. Having said that, we are still getting around the prices that I initially value properties at. So we're not dropping prices, but one thing we're not getting is the crazy emotional offers. So last year, a number of times, more than 10 times on different properties, we would get situations where, we'd be guiding, say 650,000 and we'd have someone come in and offer 850, or we'd be guiding 1.3 and have someone come in and offer 1.5. Which is a crazy emotional offer. It's a big offer. It's far and high above what we're asking for. And the reason that is obviously what I just mentioned with that fear of missing out, the sense of urgency and prices rising. Those offers are not happening anymore because buyers do not have that external pressure on them to make a crazy offer in order to secure a property. What I would say in the current market is I've got probably 3 tips. Firstly, if you're selling and you want to sell in the next 12 months, try and expedite it and do it as quickly as possible, because in reality, prices are probably going to slide for 12 to 24 months, at which point I would say the cycle will start again and will start rising. If you're wanting to sell in the next 12 to 24 months, you will be doing yourself a favor by doing it sooner rather than later. Second tip is do not panic. Prices are not tanking. Doesn't matter what you're reading on news.com.au or any other website, prices are not tanking, certainly not yet. If anything, we're just very stagnant at the moment. So do not read too much into the news articles and do not panic. The third thing is be realistic. Last year, you didn't have to be realistic because we were getting those exceptional, the offers that just made no sense at all. So people were coming to me and saying, I want X price. It was way above what I thought market value was. And we would find someone would offer that price. In the current market, we need to be realistic because we're not getting the crazy offers. We're still getting good offers. We're still getting solid offers at the right value, but the craziness has just gone out of the market. So you need to obviously shoot for a really good price, but also be realistic. Otherwise you do risk your property sitting on the market for a very long time and potentially not selling. At 1% property this week, very, very busy at the moment. So 25 Kalita Street in Boondall, that property is is unconditional. We had, and again, this one is probably the exception to what I've just been saying about the market slowing down, but in 5 days, I had 5 offers. We sold it for the highest price ever seen for a property of this type in Boondall. Also 153 Albion Road in Windsor. That one was sitting on the market with a number of different agents for a couple of years. No one could get an offer. We sold that in 5 days to a developer. That is also unconditional. Also this week, 1303/25 Charlotte Street in Chermside is under offer. I'll let you know the price once it goes unconditional. Lots and lots of properties on the market at the moment. Some really, really good homes. So 67 Homebush Road in Kedron. That is a beautiful home, ready to move in. It's got a good block on a good street. 54 Bertram Street, Stafford. Again, smaller block, but entry-level pricing into Stafford. Really, really well-maintained brick home. 39 Emerald Street in Kedron. Again, entry-level pricing into Kedron, very near the avenues, in the right school zones. We've got 22 Bennett's Road in Everton Hills. It's needs a few renovations, but it's got good bones. It's got a fantastic block, and it's in the right school zones, again, in the McDowell school zones there. 36 Belle Noel Street in Wavell Heights. It's a big family home, 5 beds, over 300 square meters under roof on a 607 block. 224 Appleby Road in Stafford Heights. It's a developable block. It's got a DA on it for 1 into 2, 809 square meters. It's a cracking opportunity. Whether you want to own it and live in it or you want to do a split and do a project. And also 331 Ellison Road in Geebung. It's got a 3-bedroom house at the front, 3-bed, 2-bath, and it's got a 2-bedroom granny flat at the back. Very, very good condition. It was only built like 5 years ago. It's in a good spot. It's walking distance to Chermside, near public transport, and the home itself is in fantastic condition. And then also just listed and coming up in the next few weeks. So we've got 7 Whiptail Court in Cashmere. It's a beautiful big 5-bed family home. It's got a pool. It's got a 700 square meter block of land. Really, really great offering in a fantastic street in a good area. And 125 Kirby Road in Aspley. That is a 4-bed, 1-bath. It's got stacks of potential. Really, really good opportunity to do a cosmetic renovation and make a lovely family home in Aspley. If any of these properties sound like what you're after, if you have any questions about them, or if you have any questions about what's going on in the market, please give me a call. Otherwise, I hope you've had a fantastic week so far, and I hope the weekend is even better.